come in the red shed here and uh-oh, 400's out to play. Let's go, let's show. Well, the fun's gonna begin. I ran into a little bit of a conundrum. These are 1-inch holes right here, but they don't match up on the tractor. So I'm using 3/4, and I'll just washer them up top for now. I think, based on the way it looks, 7/8 or even like a 13/16 would probably work, but for now I'm just gonna get them on there, see how they look. Well, this is kind of how I'm doing it. Like it, love it, or hate it, I'm using a 650 16 tire to stabilize it. Now, I'm willing to believe somebody when they tell me these are 120-pound weights. I've lifted a lot of 100-pound suitcase weights with handles, and those pale in comparison to these. I mean, dem's heavy, and it's all, you know, condensed into a, I don't know, a 21-inch package. But anyways, there's kind of a, I don't want to say it's a dilemma. It's not a dilemma for me. I'm going to do what I want anyways, regardless what anybody else thinks. Do you use this or not? Like up here. This is, see, the thing is this, the hole in the weight itself is 1 inch, okay? But this is not. This is probably 13/16. I don't know if 7/8 would fit in there. But anyways, I looked on Google, and there's one picture of a guy with a 450, and these would fit a 450 based on the part number, where he used the 2 side bolts but then had it bolted up here too, and I like that best. I don't know if, you know, some people think, oh, it's too ugly, it's just, you know, too gaudy looking, whatever. But I don't care. It's not a trailer queen. It's not going to go to shows. It's not going to do... It does tillage. And if you know anything about the first pass after plowing with a disc, it's like being on Lake Erie with, you know, 20, 30-foot waves, man. You're up, you're down, you're all around. And the last thing I want that 120-pound weight doing is crashing down on them tie rods. Or that front end at all. So the more secure, the better secure mentally I'm going to be and stuff. Another thing that was noticed, not by me, because I haven't got to it yet, was that these are 90 degrees off. This should be here so that I have access to those bolts. Now, I guess technically I still do have access to them. I would just have to use a short socket, get on there, and then, I don't know, about a 6-foot breaker bar. Yeah, that'll do her. But these it wasn't thought out. You know, the guy that had it before me, he probably did some hay raking with it or something just to take him back in time. But if I'm going to set this up properly to plow with this 4-bottom plow, that has to come out. That other wheel has to come out 3 to 4 inches. It just does. This one doesn't have to be touched. You're out of furrow wheel. It doesn't have to be touched. But yeah, I mean, I know most of you are going to disagree, because if you've ever had frame weights, you've never used that top. If I can use it, I don't even know yet. I think that's 5/8. I don't know what the front one is yet. Here's the holes. If you ever wondered what these holes are for, now you know. Here and then here. That's going to get her done, attached, and then, I don't know, I got a big long, what's that, 8-inch, grade 8, 3/4 inch. It's just what they had and what I was able to get my hands on. But that's going to stabilize it, at least temporarily, and there's at least an inch below it right there for cranking her down if I can. But yeah, if I'm able to use that top one there, I see no point in not using it. None whatsoever. The more secure, the better. The other thing, too, is, you know, now that I've got the 400 out and I've done a lot of work to this, and I'm not the only one that's done a lot of work to this tractor, but it's a good tractor, but it needs little things. I see the carburetor dripping. After I ran, it just dripped right there. I did shut the petcock off. I haven't drained the carb yet, but I'm just going to let her drip out. But anyways, she was a little smoky. The exhaust manifold needs a new manifold. That's the first thing I did when I got my Super MTA, was put a new manifold on it and did the carb work. When these things sit, they don't do well, but I kind of pondered it when I had this thing tore down, when I had all the sheet metal tore down last spring, and I thought, well, if I can get away with running that manifold, then I'm just going to run it and I'll deal with it later. Well, later's here. Later's arrived. So yeah, new manifold, some carb work, power steering put on it, the frame weights, the front wheel weights that I have several sets of, and this a beast. I mean, beast of burden, 52 engine horsepower. I'm sitting here looking at this, trying to figure out, do I have to take the weight off? If I do, no big deal at all. Can I get a socket in there and then just use a cheater bar? Maybe, I don't know. So then I get to walking over here, because this is the one that needs moved, not the other one. Would you look at that? It's on correctly. Good graveski. Yeah, we're going to be able to do that. And like I say, I'll bring it out, I think about right there. Because everybody complained, well, not everybody, but a lot of people, that I was only half in. So you're only plowing with 3.5, as if 3.5 bottoms on with a 400 isn't enough. But yeah, I think I just mark it, bring her on out, crank her on down, and then we go right to the field as soon as I get that other weight on. And by the way, the other weight is on. So I did a Google image search on Farmall 400s and 450s with frame weights, because that's what these are for. And out of 10 pictures I found, only one used this top hole, bolt, whatever. It, like I said, 1 inch, probably 13/16, whatever. But only one used it. I don't think it looks bad on there. I don't think it looks bad on there at all. One thing that I'm having a problem finding right now, and I'll go dig more in my, I have a drawer full of bolts, nuts and bolts, is what this hole here is. So these are both grade 8s. That's a grade 8. That's a grade 8. 5/8 in the rear, and on 3/4. But yeah, you come around here, this looks like 9/16. That's 5/8. I mean, once you get in there, it does get smaller than the actual OD, but get in here, it looks 9/16 to me. And for the life of me, I cannot find a 9/16, daggone it. But I'd like a grade 8 in there too. I mean, it's tight. I mean, I hammered her home. There ain't no getting out of that. And I think for right now, not having this one in here, this one's that much more important. Looks like muscle to me. 1/2, get both of these on, and get the wheel weights done. Now I want to tell you how all this started with the 4 bottom on the back of the 400. I went to an auction. I won't say what auction, it doesn't matter. I go to a lot of them. And that plow was attached to the back of the 450. Now, would it be more suited on a 450? Yeah. I'm fresh out of a 450 at the moment. The tractor at that auction, if you saw it, if you've been with the channel, you know that I bought this 400 and a 3 bottom plow, fast hitch plow, just like that one, in 3 bottoms. They both came together from the same dealership back in 1956, a guy by the name of George Nix. To the best of my knowledge, I'm the 3rd owner of this tractor, and it's never left the county. So I had a lot of guys. I was out plowing with the 3 bottom, and I got off the tractor. I says, man, it pulled it so easy, I'd like to have a 4 bottom. And probably, let's say I had 100 comments, just for easy number's sake. Probably 10 guys were like, you can't pull a 4 bottom with that tractor. I'm like, You don't ever tell me I can't do something, man. That's just not in my repertoire to listen to somebody tell me I can't do something. So the very next video, I had to fix one of the prongs. Pulled it out of the 3-point, put it in a 4-point, or 4-bottom, and yeah, pulled it out of the 3-bottom, put it into the 4-bottom, and went and plowed. Now, unbeknownst to me at the time, I was just in a hurry to get to the field, and I didn't have the wheels properly adjusted. So there were times that, you know, if I got over into the furrow, in the center of the furrow, and I wasn't hugging it tight, it was plowing 3.5 bottoms. It really needs adjusted over. So that's where all this started. Just proving guys wrong. And that video is now at like 150,000 views. Which, if you know about YouTube views, you know that a guy with 73,000 subscribers, for all intents and purposes, that's basically double his subscriber count. That's where all this started. Now, having said that, if I get a Farmall 450, that plow will go on that. And I'll put the 3-bottom back on this. But for now, I can't go to Walmart and buy a 450. It's definitely on the chopping block to own one eventually. Well, time to get the other one installed. Somebody was asking me about these weights here. Okay, these are John Deere weights. And I know for a fact they fit an L and an LA. I was told they fit an M? John Deere M? I don't know. Okay, I think I was able to look them up. They were on eBay for like, I don't know, 189 bucks. Of course, you're going to have to pay shipping beyond that 189. They're here for sale. I don't need help selling them, and I'm not a motivated seller. I mean, one thing about me, I don't sell anything, and I don't need the money, so there you go. But yeah, let's get this other one. Regulators mounted up. First things first, get the tire in place. Right about there. That'll do it. Just enough cushion. Well, they're installed. Like I said, I got one more bolt to find and put in, a grade 8. I may have to order it online. Side bolt here, but boy, does that muscle it up. So that's going to give it, oh crap, I never weighed them, but rumor has it that's an extra 240 in the front, and so that's going to counter 480 in the rear, and then I'll put another 100 up front here, so that'll counter about 500 pounds. Anytime I've ever seen them at shows, I just loved them, and other guys must too, because these are averaging anywhere from $600 to $800. I got these, you saw at the auction, for $500. And there was no way I wasn't coming home with them. I didn't care if they went 800 or not. They were right then and right there. I mean, 7-8 miles from home. They are installed, and what I want to do is take it for a little shake. There's certain spots that I hit that, like I say, it got a little light up front, and I want to see if there's a difference with the weight up front. Assuming I don't need a hammer to tap on the carburetor, I'm going to turn the fuel back on, fire it up. It's always been a good starter. She opened. Regulators mount up. Oh, okay. Let's see. No choke. No choke. Here by the railroad tracks, it's a pretty good hill, and anytime I've ever left the farm with this and a plow on the back, it got light. real interesting to see the difference here. I'm actually going to stop and start. All right. I can tell you one thing. It didn't go up anywhere near what it normally does. Get those wheel weights on. I think you're going to drive a hard bargain to bring that front end up at all, even with the 4-bottom. Well, these are next. These are for a Cub, but these ones here on bottom will fit the 400, and then I'll paint these up, put them on the Super MTA. The reason I haven't yet on the Super MTA is because one of these tires, yeah, this one here, it's weather checked, so I want to get that changed out. I'll probably put a new set on there, and these are Carlisle's, but I'll put a new set on here and put the wheel weights on. And then this is a field ready tractor. It's already field ready. I mean, I don't consider that not, but I'd like to get a little weight, muscle it up. You know, if I ever find another set of weights for this, well, it'll get it too. Love me some cheek weights. Well, like the old saying goes, as long as you're happy, that's all that matters.